Previously on Game Gengo.
緊急事態発生。
予想以上。
そのために必要な犠牲は払う。
Hello everyone and welcome to Game Gengo, the video series where we learn Japanese through video games. And so in this episode we're going to be going through episode 13 of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And so the Mako reactor has just blown up and now we're going through the actual streets, seeing the mayhem, seeing the results of our efforts at the Mako reactor. And we will also be having our first look at the primary antagonist of this story. So it's a very special episode. Please look forward to it. We'll also be covering over 40 new words and touching on some pretty interesting grammar like yo toshiteru and zu and things like that. So quite interesting grammar in this episode. So let's get into it.
まさかどうして嘘だ。待て。ありえない。あんたは死んだ。
ほう。
俺がこの手で。
もちろん覚えているとも。我々の大切な思い出だからな。さてクラウド、お前に頼みがある。この星が死のうとしている。悲鳴も上げず、静かにゆっくりと私たちの星が消えてしまうのだ。クラウド。星が死ねばこの あでやかに燃えるお前の故郷が消えてしまう。息子だけは助けてくれと泣きついた女の声、切り捨てた時の感触さえ消えてしまうのだ。我々をつなぐ絆の喪失は私自身の死よりも耐え難い。なあクラウド、力を貸してくれ。何、簡単なことだ。クラウド、走るんだ。逃げて生き延びて。
ふざけるな！
いいぞ、それでいい。私を忘れるな。
Okay, so starting off the video, Cloud has been walking through the remains of the explosion of the Mako reactor, and we've seen all these people injured and all these buildings kind of on fire and things exploding. And as he kind of walks under this overpass, this kind of bridge, all of a sudden it collapses in front of him, and he says, "Nanda." Now, Nanda means what the, so nani means what, and then da here is being used as a question as we've seen previously. Instead of ka, it's just da. Nanda, what is it, right? What? What the hell? Okay, so Cloud has been surrounded by all this fire and he's having these flashbacks back to his traumatic past, and so here we can see his kind of the flames, and in the flames Sephiroth appears, just like he did in the original video game where he has his back turned and there's all the flames and it's so crazy. So anyway, here is kind of a callback to that scene, while we're also kind of introducing the villain to the story, Sephiroth. So this is, wow, this is very new. This didn't happen in the original at this point in the game. And so here Cloud is freaking out and he's like, why, what, how? And so he says, "Nazeda." Now, naze means why or how, and then here the da again is being used as a question. So, nazeda, why, how?
まさか、どうして？
So just a quick one, while he's kind of trying to chase after this image of Sephiroth, he's kind of walking through the flames. Meanwhile, the surroundings are slowly morphing into Nibelheim, from Midgar morphing into Nibelheim. I freaking love this scene. Anyway, so Cloud, he says, "Masaka, doshite?" So masaka means no way. It's a very common expression used at the beginning of a sentence to show disbelief in something. So he's saying just no way, right? So very, very common. And then he has doshite. Now doshite can be used in many different ways, asking for a question, why or how or for what reason. So very common. So he's saying two things really that mean the same thing. Masaka, no way, and doshite, why. He's showing a lot of disbelief. He's freaking out. This scene is so freaking Sephiroth. Like, oh my god, it's so ominous. Like, you can see the flames, right? And then the shadow of Cloud against the wall as the city turns into Nibelheim. Sephiroth slowly, ominously walks away, his back just like in the original game when he slaughtered everyone. He's just walking coldly, quietly through the town. And then here he walks around the corner and you have this sense of dread. You don't want to go around the corner because he's just standing there, just cold and silent like a ghost. Freaking love this scene. Anyway, back to learning Japanese. And again, trying to follow after him, he's just like, no way, uso da. So uso means a lie. You could say usotsuki, which is a liar. And here uso just means lie. And then da, it is. So he's literally saying it is a lie. Now that's not very natural. So normally in English we would say, no way. So here, that's what he's saying. No way. It's a lie. Now in English, they've kind of changed it and said, the hell? Now, yeah, okay, that's kind of common way of saying it in English. No way is also kind of very common, but saying it's a lie, not so common. It's a little bit strange. So, but that is what this actual kanji here means. Uso, it means it's a lie. And if you have a look at the fourth definition here, it's a very common way of saying no way, unbelievable, right? So he's just really confused and in disbelief of what's happening.
ありえない。あんたは死んだ。
Okay, so Cloud has finally managed to get through the flames, kind of freaking out meanwhile, and he catches up to Sephiroth and he says, Arienai, anta wa shinda. So, arienai means impossible. Arieru or ariuru means to be possible, and then arienai means it's impossible. So he's saying that it's literally impossible. Anta wa shinda. Anta is you, anta wa, so as for you, shinda. You died. Now in the English version, Sephiroth here actually says, I did, but that's not what he says in the Japanese. He just says, ho.
俺がこの手で
I, with these hands, 俺が, so I'm the one who did something, この手で, with these hands. So この, this, 手 is a new word meaning hand. Now it can mean arm as well, usually not, it's usually just hand, ude is usually arm, but this is 手 for hand, この手で. Now de means by, so by these hands, 俺が, and we don't know what the verb is, but we can kind of assume that it means 殺す or 殺した means to kill. He killed him with his hands. Now we don't know, he hasn't said that, but 俺が, what do you think he said?
もちろん覚えているとも。
And now Sephiroth finally speaks and he says, もちろん覚えてるとも. So mochiron is a really common way of saying, of course. Very, very, very common. You can use this in all your day, every day, any day. Mochiron. Mochiron means of course. Now, oboeru means to remember, but here it's being used in the continuous form oboeteiru, which means that I am currently remembering, right? It's something that I'm doing. So it just means that it exists. I'm currently doing it. Sometimes these verbs have that like 生きている means I'm continuously living. This continuous form is used for that. And then tomo here is actually just an emphasis on the previous mochiron. So it's a way of adding even more emphasis to saying of course. So here, and translation could be certainly or of course or surely. So it's like he's saying, of course, I certainly remember, or something like that, right? It's saying the same thing twice to just add emphasis, a very common thing in Japanese. And so here, I've added that in the blue. And this means, of course, I remember. Mochiron, of course, oboeteru tomo. I remember. And now in the English translation, they say, oh, you need not remind me. Okay, that's a bit weird. It's kind of making Sephiroth speak very poetic, which I think the translator's trying to do, trying to make him sound very intelligent and poetic. However, in the Japanese, that's not how he says. He just says, of course, I remember.
我々の大切な思い出だからな。
Because it is our precious memories. 我々の大切な思い出だからな. So, 我々 means we. Now, it's ware ware, see it's being repeated, so if you have a look at that second kanji, that kanji is just there to show that the first kanji is being repeated. It's very common in lots of words when they're saying the same thing, like katagata and things like that. It's to show that it's the same thing again. So very common kanji. Ware ware no, turning we into our, and then taisetsu na, so important or precious something, it's an adjective with that na adjective, omoide. So it's a taisetsu na omoide, a precious memory or a precious recollection or something like that. But memory is pretty normal. So it is a precious memory, taisetsu na omoide, dakara na. So dakara just means kara. He's just saying that it's because. So it is because, the reason why he remembers, it is because it's our important memories. And then na is just kind of like a masculine ne at the end, just saying, you know, or right, or kind of adding that kind of emphasis to it. Now in the English translation, again, they kind of go all this British poetic style and they say, it was the crowning moment of our time together. I'm not a huge fan. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to add that really intelligent, poetic style of speaking because it's quite intimidating, right? When someone is a psychopath but also intelligent and poetic, That's scary. So I get why they're doing that in English, but it was our crowning moment of our time together. It sounds almost romantic. No, it's not for me. I quite like the Japanese here.
さてクラウド、お前に頼みがある。
Sate crowdo, omae ni tanomi ga aru. So sate means well or now or hey. Then crowdo is cloud. Omae ni. So omae, remember, is you, and then ni means something to do with you. Tanomi ga aru. Ah, I see. So it's a request ga aru. I have a request, or I have a favor. And where is it? It's for you, to you, from you. Omae ni. So omae ni tanomi ga aru. I have a favor to ask of you, pretty much. So in the literal translation, it's now. I need you to do something for me. Now in the English translation, they say, but that was then, and this is now. I have a favor to ask. Okay. I think you get my position. I'm not a huge fan of the way Sephiroth is speaking here, but okay, that's how they're going. So tanomi is really useful to say a favor. You may remember tanomu. That means to, rely on someone. And then here, tanomi is the noun. And this is turning that verb, tanomu, into a noun, tanomi. So now we can talk about it as an actual thing. Tanomi ga aru. I have a kind of request or a favor.
この星が死のうとしている。
This planet is on the verge of dying. So, この星が this planet, and then remember, ga is showing that a verb. This planet is about to do a verb. What verb is it? It's 死のうとしている. So, this is a little bit complicated when you look at it at first glance, but it's actually really easy. Shinu means die. We saw that previously. But this 死のうとしている is a grammar form to say that you are either trying to do something or that you're about to do something, or something is about to happen. Now, clearly, trying to die doesn't make sense, so it is this second meaning, which means to be about to do something. Now, to use this grammar, to be about to do something or to try to do something, you need to put the verb into the volitional form, which is the yo form. So, shinu, shino. So it's kind of like, let's die, shino. So we need to put it in that form, and then to shiteiru. And this means to be about to do something. Now, I've included some Japanese down below that says exactly what this means. If you can read that, it might help you understand exactly what this yo to shiteiru means. And it means mo sugu dun 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 suru. Mo sugu means very soon, and then suru means to do. It really is a very common expression used to show that something is just on the verge of about to happen. Like it's just about to happen, right? And so the planet is about to die, right? It's so close to death. Yo to shiteru, shino to shiteru. Now, in the English translation, he says, our beloved planet is dying. Which, okay, he's added beloved and our, but it's the same thing. He's saying the planet is dying. Shino to shiteru.
悲鳴も上げず、静かに、ゆっくりと。
Oh, I love this. I love this line so much. So he says, 悲鳴も上げず、静かに、ゆっくりと. Love this. So he's saying, without even so much as letting out a scream, quietly, slowly. Oh, love it. It sends tingles down my spine. So here, hime, we actually have seen previously with the hoshi no hime, the screams of the planet, mo agezu. Now, this looks quite intimidating. It's actually quite easy. Ageru here is being used to say to kind of let out a scream, hime. So ageru is a really, really, really varied verb that you can use in something like 20 different ways and they're completely different meanings. So here we're just looking at number 9, the ninth definition, which is to make a noise or to raise a sound. So hime mo ageru means to also make a sound, right? And then agezu means without making a sound. So this zu form we often see when saying without doing something. So hime mo agezu, without making even a scream. Shizukani, that means quietly. And then yukkuri to, which means slowly. So he's saying that the planet is dying without even so much as a peep. No screaming, quietly, slowly. This is really interesting, actually, because Barrett says, "Can't you hear the screams of the planet? Hime ga kikoinee ka kuradasaya." But here, Sephiroth is saying that he can't hear the screams. Interesting. Anyway, so we have the English version here, which is a little bit more simply. He just says, slowly, silently, painfully. Okay, keeping it simple, I understand. The second two parts, the Shizukani and Yukkurito, are doing that. They're just saying quietly and slowly, so they're just trying to keep it in that three similar style of saying, which, okay, it sounds good.
私たちの星が消えてしまうのだ。クラウド。
Our planet is going to disappear. 私たちの星が消えてしまうのだ。クラウド。So, 私たちの星, our planet, ga. So again, we know that our planet is about to do a verb. What verb? 消えてしまう, which means to completely disappear. 消える, to disappear, and then てしまう means to do something completely or regrettably. So he's saying that the planet is just going to completely disappear. And then we have Noda. Now this Noda at the end is used to show that there is an expectation, or maybe he's explaining something. So he's saying the reason is that, or the fact is that, or the explanation is that. Now, that's exactly what he's saying. He's explaining what's going on, and he's explaining that the planet is going to disappear. And that's why they have the Noda. So the literal translation is, our planet is going to disappear. Cloud. And then in the English translation, he says, "Can you bear to see the planet suffer, Cloud?" Okay. I feel like I may have a problem with the Sephiroth in the English version. I'm very sorry, please forgive me. But can you bear to see the planet suffer? Why is he talking about Cloud's interest in the planet? I'm not sure. But okay, sure.
母さん。母さん。
Shingeki no Kyojin? This is a very traumatic thing. So we see from Cloud's perspective looking up at his burning house as his mother burns. Oh my god. This is very unexpected. So Ka-san, which just means mum, and he says it twice. So he's crying out to his mother, oh my god, this is traumatic.
星が死ねば、このあでやかに燃えるお前の故郷が消えてしまう。
If the planet dies, this hometown of yours that burns so bright will also disappear. Okay, it's a long one. Let's have a look. Hoshi ga shineba. So Hoshi we know now a lot is the Final Fantasy VII way of saying planet. Hoshi ga shineba. So shinu, we've now seen for the third time, means to die. And then this ba means a hypothetical situation. It means if the first thing, then the second thing will happen. Shineba, if it dies, the next thing is what's going to happen. So, what's the next thing that's going to happen? Kono adeyaka ni moeru omae no kokyo ga kiete shimau. So, this gorgeously burning kono adeyaka ni, so adeyaka means kind of gorgeously, brilliantly. Moeru means to burn. Omae no kokyo. Omae, you, and then kokyo here is a really common way of saying your hometown or your kind of place that you were born, right? So his kokyo, his hometown, ga, so we know that the first thing now is what's going to do this next verb after ga. So this hometown that burns so brilliantly will ga kiete shimau. So again, we see this te shimau and kieru to disappear completely. So he's saying that if the planet dies, even your home that burns so bright will also disappear. Okay, Sephiroth, I don't think Cloud really cares if this horrible traumatic experience disappears. I think he probably doesn't want his hometown being burnt down in the first place, but okay. So here we have Sephiroth kind of being quite sadistic. Cloud is freaking out, he's having all these traumatic experiences, remembering burning his mom, and then here now he's remembering that his hometown has been burnt down. So this is a really good scene to kind of introduce to new viewers of Final Fantasy VII that this event happened, because it happens kind of later on in the story in the actual game, but here they're introducing it boom straight away to kind of get you interested, but also because they're just focusing on the Midgar section for this game. So I think this is fantastic. Very, very interesting.
息子だけは助けてくれと泣きついた女の声。
息子だけは助けてくれと泣きついた女の声. So, her crying voice of mercy pleading to at least save her son. So let's have a look here. 息子 means son. Okay, that's Cloud. The mum's 息子 is Cloud. He's the son. 息子だけは. Now, だけは means at least. So dake means only, and then as for only. So it kind of just means at least Cloud, at least her son. 助けてくれと. So 助けてくれ is what she actually literally said. Why do we know this? Because the to particle that's what it's doing. It's quoting her exact words. 息子だけは助けてくれ. The to is now quoting that. So it's kind of like making a bracket around the word in English to kind of show that you're quoting. 助けてくれ means save for me or rescue for me. So she's saying spare my son at least. と is what she said. And then 泣きついた女の声. And so now he's actually describing what she said, how she said it. 泣きついた. Now, naku means to cry, and then ついた means kind of to be stuck with something, kind of have something attached. So it means that she's kind of has these tears. 泣きついた here is to cling in tears. She's begging in tears for something. And what is she pleading for? She's pleading for her son to be saved. Now, onna no koe, this just means the sound of a woman. So, 泣きついた onna no koe means the sound of a woman crying, pleading for her son to be saved. 息子だけは助けてくれ. Now, in the English translation, they say, the sound of her voice pleading for me to spare you. So, perfect translation. Yay! It's exactly the same. They're saying the exactly same things.
切り捨てた時の感触さえ消えてしまうのだ.
Oh my god! This is such a brutal line. Oh my god, Sephiroth. So he says, even the sensation of the time I cut her down will disappear. What? Okay, that's very sadistic. I don't think Cloud cares too much about that memory disappearing either. But anyway, so kiri steta. So kiri steru means to cut and then kind of discard. So it means to cut down someone, to slay someone, to kill, to murder. Kiri, cut, steru, throw away. Kiri steta, so the slayed, toki, so the time I killed her, no kanshoku sae. So kanshoku means the sensation. So it could be the feel, the touch, the texture of something. And so he's saying the sensation of the time I cut her down will also disappear. Sae means even that. Kiete shimau no da. It will also disappear. So he's saying that even the sensation of the time I cut her down, it will disappear. Now in the English translation, he says, the shiver of her flesh, yielding to cold steel. Okay, this is very creative. I actually freaking love this English right here. That is fantastic. I love that because the translator's not adding anything too much that's different from what he's actually saying, but he's just making it sound so cool. The shiver of her flesh yielding. It sends shivers down my spine, just that line. I love that English translation right there. And so this line in particular is just, what? Sephiroth, you crazy. Okay.
我々をつなぐ絆の喪失は私自身の死よりも耐え難い。
The loss of the bonds which bind us together would be more unbearable than even my own death. Ooh, okay. So, 我々をつなぐ絆. 我々 means we, and then 我々を, so it means something is going to happen to us. 我々をつなぐ絆. So tsunagu means to connect. So here it means to connect, tie things. You could have te o tsunaide, please connect your hands, please hold hands. And then we have kizuna. Kizuna means your kind of bond or your connection. So this is often used in a kind of fate way where it's kind of this connection between people, your kizuna, right? The bonds between the thing that connects us. So the connected bonds, tsunagu kizuna, no soshitsu. Now, soshitsu means the loss of something. To kind of put it into context, memory loss is kyoku soshitsu. So here you can see that it's kind of that loss of something, kyoku soshitsu, the loss of something, and here it's the loss of wareware o tsunagu kizuna, the bonds which bind us together. And then wa is the topic, and then he says watashi jishin. So watashi means I, and jishin means myself, right? So he's saying that I myself, not shi, the death of I myself, yori mo. So here it's kind of comparing yori mo, so more than or in comparison to, taegatai. So taeru means to be able to bear something, and then gatai means that you connect it with another verb to show that it's difficult to do something. So taegatai means that it's unbearable, right? It's too much, he cannot bear it. So this is a really interesting sentence, quite complicated, but when you piece it all together, it makes a lot of sense. As for the loss of the bonds which bind us together, wareware o tsunagu kizuna no soshitsu wa worse than my own death. Watashi jishin no shi yori mo taegatai. Now in the English version, he says that which binds us together would be no more, and I would be loath to live in such a world. Okay, so Sephiroth the poet, here being very fabulous with his speaking. Okay, I get what they're doing now. They're definitely doing that intelligent psychopath for Sephiroth. Cool, okay, gotcha.
なあクラウド、力を貸してくれ。
なあクラウド、力を貸してくれ。So here he's saying, hey, Cloud, lend me your strength. So na is just saying, hey, ne, na, Cloudo. And then chikara is power. So this is the kanji for power, strength. And then o kashite kure. So te kure means do for me. And what does he want to do? Kashite. Kasu means to lend. So lend me your strength. Okay, this is interesting. So they're touching on themes that don't get explored in the original story until like disc 3 or something. Whoa, okay. So lend me your strength. All right, okay. I wonder what that's all about. So he wants that to happen. Now, that's the literal translation. In the game translation, he says, which is why I must ask you this one favor. Okay, yeah. That's pretty good. So he's saying all of the things he's been talking about is connected to why he has to ask for the favor. Cool, great.
何? 簡単なことだ。
何? 簡単なことだ. So nani means what? So he's kind of saying like maybe Cloud has a problem with what he's saying and he's like, what? It's a simple thing. 簡単なことだ. Simple thing. Kantan means simple or easy, uncomplicated. And then na means that it's being used as a na adjective, so it's going to be changing or modifying the noun, which is koto, which means thing. So a simple thing. Kantan na koto. So what? It's a simple thing. Now in the English they've said, don't worry, it's a simple thing. Yeah, okay, same kind of thing really.
クラウド、走るんだ。
クラウド、走るんだ. So Cloud, run away. Or it is that you should run away. So Crowdo is Cloud. Now Hashiru is to run, and then this nda. We just saw previously the no-da. This is the same thing but just turning it colloquial. So no-da is the more formal way of saying it. Nda is the more colloquial way, the more casual way of saying it. And so he's saying that Cloud, run. Now no-da or nda kind of is a way of showing the reason, if you remember. So I have here the Japanese definition if you would like to have a read. If you can't read it, that's fine. It really just means that you're showing reason. It's hard to translate because we don't really say that in English. However, it's showing that the reason. It's showing the explanation, the reason, the fact, right? It's that kind of explanation vibe. Whenever you see noda or nda, that's what you know. You know someone's explaining something. You need to run. Run. Now, in the English version, they've kind of made it kind of more ghost Sephiroth. They're like, run, Cloud, run away. Okay, all right. They're kind of making him kind of haunting with the way that he's speaking. Cool. Okay, interesting. Nice.
逃げて、生き延びて。
逃げて、生き延びて. So, nigeru, as we saw previously, means to run, and then this ikinobiru, this is a new one. So, ikiru means to live. Nobiru means kind of to extend. So, it's kind of extending your living is ikinobiru. which just means really to survive, right? You're extending your living. So, nigete, run away, and survive. Iki nobite. Now, in the English translation, they say, you have to leave, you have to live. Okay, so he's kind of adding this sense of urgency, saying you have to do something. Why? I don't know. But in the Japanese, he's just saying, run and survive. Okay, so Cloud is not having any of it, and he charges and he says, so here is the kind of Japanese way of saying F you. Fuzakeru means to mess around, to screw around, to joke around. Now, it doesn't have to always be that strong, but here it clearly is very strong. One, he's angry, he's just trying to kill him, but also it has that na, saying don't do something, so he's being very short, very blunt. He's not saying, like, don't do it. He's not being polite with kudasai. He's not saying, like, shinaide kudasai or anything like that. He's just saying, fuzakeru na. You can kind of tell that's fighting words just from the tone there, and the fact that he's swinging a giant sword trying to kill him also adds more to that. So I kind of like the whole don't screw around with me, or if you wanted to swear, this would be your opportunity, don't F with me. Now in the English translation, he just says, you bastard. Okay, cool. That's another way of kind of saying it without, saying don't mess around with me. So this is quite a useful word, fuzakeru na. It doesn't have to always be super rude, but it's just the way that you say it can change how strong that kind of seriousness of the tone, which is true of all language really, but here it can change from just don't mess around with me, don't screw around, or it could turn into something really strong depending on how strong you say it. Now, here's just a little bit of fun information. At the top there, we have a very difficult looking kanji. That is actually the kanji for fuzakeru. So you don't need to learn this, no one does, but if you're interested, I'm interested, here is the actual kanji for fuzakeru. Impress your friends with this very, very difficult kanji.
いいぞ、それでいい。
Izo, soredei. So izo is just saying attaboy, or that's good. And then soredei, so sorede, so just like that, by that, I, it is good. So he's saying good, just like that. And in the English, he just says, good Cloud, very good. Izo, soredei.
私を忘れるな。
Don't forget about me. Watashi o, so something that you're doing with watashi, me, wasureru, which means to forget. And then na, saying don't. So don't forget me. Don't you forget about me. So he says, in the English translation, hold on to that hatred. So he's kind of being very Itachi right here with that whole, hate me, Sasuke. But that's what he's doing here to Cloud. He's saying in English, hate me, hold on to that hatred. But in the Japanese, he's just saying, don't forget me. So this is a really interesting scene. So it's establishing that this is all in his memory, right? That wasn't actually Sephiroth, unless he's some crazy ghost monster. It's clear that he's just haunting Cloud inside his head. I really like this because that wasn't touched on so much in the original until all of a sudden it happened, whereas here they're introducing that element that something's going on inside Cloud's head. Everything's not all that right up there. So this is really, really interesting. It's new information for the new viewers of the series, introducing Cloud's kind of problems, but also introducing the main antagonist of the story. It's also great for fans of the show because we finally get to see the characters kind of interact so early in the game. Fantastic. Love this scene. So good. And the music. Oh my freaking god. Okay, so let's get into the review for this episode. We have Nanda. What? What the? Nanda. Naze. How or why? Naze. Masaka. So no way. Showing disbelief. Masaka. Doshite. Why? Asking for a reason. Doshite. Uso. A lie. Usoda. Uso. Arienai. So it's not possible. It's impossible. Arienai. Shinu. To die. Shinu. Te. So it kind of looks like a hand, doesn't it? Kind of upside down hand. Te. Hand. Mochiron. So of course. Now usually this kanji isn't used, but that's what it is. Mochiron, of course. Oboeru, so to memorize, to remember. Oboeru. Tomo, so used to emphasize the mochiron. It means certainly, of course. Now you won't use it by itself, but it's used to emphasize mochiron, tomo. Wareware, so we, wareware. Taisetsu, so important, necessary, dear, cherished. Taisetsu. Omoide, so a memory. Omoide. Dakara, which means to show the reason. That's why. Dakara. Sate. So this is well, now, then, or hey. Now just below we have 3 kanji they are actually the super rare kanji for sate. You don't need to know them, but again, extra information. Tanomi. So tanomi is a request or a favor. Tanomi. Yo to suru or yo to shiteiru, which means to try to do something or to be about to do something or be about to happen. Verb yo to shiteiru. Mo. So it can mean also, but here it's being used as even or as much as. Mo. Ageru. So the million meaning word, but here number 9, to make a noise or to make a kind of raise a voice. Ageru. Shizukani. So very quietly. Shizukani. Yukkuri. So yukkuri means slowly at a leisurely pace. Yukkuri to. Kieru. So to vanish like a ghost, like Sephiroth did. Kieru. Noda. So noda, remember, is showing that you are explaining something. Hard to translate in English, but it means that. Noda. Ka-san. So that means your mother. Ka-san. Ka-san. Ba. So if something, then something, hypothetical situation. Shineba, dun dun dun. Adeyaka. So here it's glamorous or kind of beautiful. Adeyaka ni moeru, burning beautifully. Kokyo is your hometown. Kokyo. Musuko. Musuko, son. Musuko. Dake wa, at least. Musuko dake wa, at least my son. Dake wa. Nakitsuku. So here it's clinging to someone in tears or begging in tears. Nakitsuku. Onna. So female, woman. Onna. Koe. So your voice or the sound. Koe. Kiristeru. So to cut and to discard, to slay. Kiristeru. Kanshoku. So the sensation, the feeling, the texture. Kanshoku. Tsunagu. So to connect. Tsunagu. Kizuna. So the bonds between us. Kizuna. Soshitsu. So the loss. Soshitsu. Kyoku soshitsu. Memory loss. Soshitsu. Jishin. So myself. One's self. Jishin. Yori mo. So here it's showing comparison rather than. Yori mo. Taegatai. So it's difficult or impossible to taeru, which is bear. So unbearable. Taegatai. Chikara o kasu. Lend strength. Chikara o kasu. Kantan. So simple, easy, kantan. Ikinobiru. So to survive, to live, extending your living. Ikinobiru. Fuzakeru. So to mess around, to screw around. Fuzakeru. Wasureru. So to forget. Wasureru. Great. So very good job, everyone. I hope that you've remembered some of that information. Let's get into the quiz. Good luck.
"この星が死のうとしている」悲鳴も上げず静かにゆっくりと。このあでやかに燃えるお前の故郷が消えてしまう。息子だけは助けてくれと泣きついた女の声。 切り捨てた時の感触さえ消えてしまうのだ。私自身の死よりも耐え難い。何？簡単なことだ。逃げて生き延びて。
ふざけるな！
私を忘れるな。
Hey, congratulations, you have now finished episode 13 of Game Gengo. So now you have over 500 new words, so hopefully you've been able to remember some of these words. 500 is a pretty big milestone, so now let's make our way to 1,000 new words. So hopefully you're enjoying the series. Thank you so much everyone for all your help and support. I hope you learned something today in this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I want to give a quick shout out to all the people who support me on Patreon. You guys are the absolute best. It's so fantastic getting to know all you guys in the Discord, sharing Japanese hints and tips and kind of resources and talking about video games, geeking out. It's just the freaking best thing ever. So thank you so much guys, absolutely fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please leave a comment down in the comment section below, leave a like, subscribe if you like what you saw, and also try to practice your Japanese down in the comment section below. So thank you very much everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time. See ya.